My name's Darryl, and this is my LifeSmiles journey. To get us to where we are, I had really some overcrowding of teeth and all, and didn't take good care of them, and some, there was life issues and things happened, and when I had gotten married and gotten a little older there, and we started to have our daughter, I was like, I need to do something. And I sought out treatment, and at the time, it wasn't what I would say, looking back, maybe it'd been the best advice in the world, but even through some of the conversations I've had with, Dr. Prabhu and others here, they didn't have resources and technology that's available to us today. And with that being said, maybe it wasn't, things that they're able to do today. But we had taken steps, and to me, there was a Band-Aid then. There was a patch, and I could kind of hide behind somewhat. And then as life changed and things started to deteriorate and things were happening, and I'm like, I've got to do something. So I start looking at the simplest, most non-invasive, what's the easiest, the cheapest, what can and I'm just gonna hide behind this forever. And my wife and daughter have been coming here for a long time, and had nothing but great things to say about Dr. Prabhu and LifeSmiles and the whole team. And it's like, just go for a consultation. And I came in, and I guess it was at that point that we started talking. And I find myself when I sit in the chair, like I'm delaying the whole process, because I can't quit apologizing and trying to tell them, I hate you're having to deal with me, and I'm just, and every fear that I had, every aspect of, as big as I'm making this thing, they're squashing it back down, and they're telling me that we see this all the time. You're not that different than most people. To where in my mind, I've said it, that I'm the only one. I'm out here by myself, all alone, and nobody else knows what I'm going through. And that probably was one of the biggest lies. And from that point, we started and just kind of went through a consultation, and our consultation had kind of laid out some treatment options, and we can go this way, we can go this way, and what do you, and initially there was some reservation and some hesitation, because there was some hope initially, but then there's still a ton of doubt, just because that's who I am as a person. I'm just kind of very skeptical of all things, which really, this may tend to look different at the end, because I am such a believer today of the success and the ability they have to aid you in transforming your life. I say they aid you in transforming your life because there's a big part of that you play in yourself. And there's a part of where I have to sit down and I have to look myself in the mirror, and I have to say, you're worth being loved, and you're worth this, and they're willing to help you. Trust them, believe in them, and that was the first step. And I trusted, and I believed, and I walked out of here thinking, maybe there's hope. And with every appointment, with every step, with every next consultation, this is our course of action, this is what we're thinking, this is, it got to where there wasn't as much thought on my end. And now, it's almost like, I hate to minimize it as I'm going to get a haircut, but this is a very simple task that they do every day, and they do a great job at it. and I have to trust them. And as I started doing that, I brought myself from that anxiety of, oh no, I've got a dentist appointment, or I've got to go, to now I find myself on the days that I have appointments that I'm almost anticipating and excited to the point of, it's almost if it's a holiday, it is an opportunity that it is a homecoming at church. I'm going to get to go see family. I'm going to go get to see friends that I don't get to see all the time, that I know care about me and I care about them, and I'm going to get to catch up if only for a few minutes. And while I'm in here in the process of catching up with all these people, they tend to do whatever it was that I was coming in to have done. Everything I've experienced here has made me wish that this process I would have started a long time ago. That Dr. Prabhu and every member of the staff has been nothing but amazing. And I can't say thank you enough. I want to tell you that the vulnerability that I felt when I walked into this door, and I shared a letter that I sat and I wrote with them, and the details of that letter I would be more than happy to share with anyone who chose. But the vulnerability that I have to take something that you've hid your entire life and to open it up in my mind in front of these people who are almost like Olympic athletes in my mind. They're the best at what they do. Everyone has a beautiful smile, a great personality, and the one thing you see in everybody else, you don't see in yourself. And you know, I've not only got to open my mouth, I've not got to show them this, I've got to be as vulnerable as I can be. And I don't feel at any aspect of this process that there was a point of judgment ever. That everything that I experienced from day one to where I sit right now has been exactly what they told me it would be. The friendships that we based out of, and just these few quick appointments, and the smiles from the time I walk in the door to, when I call and it's a hello. I will say that this is probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. I mean, and of course, there's my salvation and my beautiful wife. Those will always hold top priority, but this has been one of the things that I could honestly go back and say was a defining point in my life. I will say that was my first step, was coming in and having the what do we do, and then we started weighing out our options, and then from that point we started, and it's like, okay, we have this course of treatment, we have this course of treatment, we have this. So they laid out some options, which I'm grateful for. And if probably much to their regret was giving me options, because with options comes questions, and I have lots of questions, whether there's a reason for them or not. So that was one of our first appointments. Our next appointment was to start the process once we had decided on the route that we would go. And that process was come in one morning with a partial, and we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to set, and we're going to do a temporary, and we're going to do this, and you'll come in like this, and you'll leave the same day, and you'll no longer have your partial, you'll have a bridge, a temporary, and that will start our process. From that, it's just been follow up from adjustment zone. I had to have a mandible tori surgery in the process because there was some overcut and there was no room in my mouth, which in turn was restricting my breathing and such. So I will say taking the steps that I did there ended up forcing me into a different area that I had never considered before, which to my wife would probably say thank you very much, because she said my snoring has decreased greatly, if not completely gone away. And so now, and from that point, it's just been tweaks on, all right, how's everything feel? How's this fit? We're here. All right, now we're going to this. So the steps have been few. What I can tell you is my life from that day to today has changed drastically. I see it in my day-to-day life. I see it in my confidence with people. I see it in my ability to want to stand beside my wife and smile when we take our picture. I see myself not standing more in the shadows of I feel like this has allowed me to be the person God intended me to be. Someone who is an individual who has a voice, who has a story to tell, and wants to tell that story, and is not wrestling within their mind on why they shouldn't tell that story or why they can't tell that story. And that ability has been given to me by LifeSmiles. There's something in my mind special about this building, and I know it's nothing more than brick and mortar, glass, and interiors, but it's made up of something special, and that special are the people of LifeSmiles. And I try to view this place as special, and I mean, I honestly feel like that regardless of where they were, what their facilities looked like, this experience would have been the same, just because of who they are and how they treat everyone. And I see it from other people in the waiting area to whatever, and like I say, it's hard not to feel special because I know everybody gets the same treatment. But in my heart of heart, in my mind's eyes, I can't not tell myself that I'm special when I walk through those doors. And I believe that I am special in the eyes of these. And walking in here with that is a charge that allows me to walk back out that door and face that world and everyone in it. And I'm just forever grateful for the ability to share with anyone my process and kind of my journey. I know in my day-to-day job, there's a life to juggle. I've got a lot of my stuff going on. I've got, I've got grass growing. I've got cars breaking down. I've got deadlines to meet. I've got things on me, and there's a ton of pressures in life. And I know that everyone here lives in the same world I do. But when I walk through those doors, I don't see it. They make you a priority. They're special. And I mean, I could go on and on talking about that very thing. I'm a living truth. I'm a testimony that you hold the keys to your happiness. And I'll tell you, I found mine here at LifeSmiles